Hello guys, how are you all? Welcome back to my channel. So, today we are gonna see, what if Izuku gave up on becoming a hero and became a former hitman movie. So before we start, go check out the author of this fanfic, Blackblade 567, link is in the description. Also subscribe to our channel and like this video. So let's begin the video. It was a peaceful night in Tokyo, Japan. People were bustling around in malls, heroes were getting bored from no crimes and were planning to call it a night. Children were parents to buy the new All Might action figure. Meanwhile, in a casino, far away from any hero agencies, a young man wearing a suit was having a fun time with his girlfriends. This man was the brother of the leader of a growing criminal faction and second in command. Thought small, they were powerful, and their grunts have powerful quirks with access to quirk-enhancing drugs. The man also had a lot of enemies and destroyed lots of lives. So it wasn't a surprise when a man whose family was murdered by him placed a 500,000 yen hit on his head. Make him suffer before he dies. Those were the words said to the assassin when he accepted the hit. These were his favorite gigs. Simple and easy to carry out. Although the target had a dozen bodyguards, each had powerful quirks, the assassin had countermeasures for them. The first one had a quirk that made spikes come out of his body. Common, but deadly. However, he won't have a chance to activate it because the whiskey he was drinking had been poisoned. While people passed the dead man, assuming he was another man who couldn't handle his liquor, the bartender serving him asked for a break and went to the bathroom. When he entered, he quickly changed to another suit and took off the wig and glasses. The real bartender was locked in the bathroom stall unconscious. The dead man's comrades were asking about the situation through a comm. The assassin had heard enough of the dead man's voice to mimic it, so he replied with an all clear. He exited the washroom and scanned for his target. He saw him flirting with women and two bodyguards scanning the perimeter. Too easy. The assassin walked to them and quickly shot both bodyguards with a Colt Diamondback. He had bought it in America and it quickly became one of his favorites. The Americans make good guns. He mused to himself. Nothing against the Italians and Austrians, but the guns in America are good. He then pointed the revolver at his target. Wait. Please. I have money. Pathetic, men like these act powerful, but once they face something out of their league, the hunters become the hunted. So do I. The assassin then shot an incoming bodyguard in the face. How much is the hit? I'll pay you double. Okay, that was slightly tempting. Nah. I'll just kill you. After torture you. That was part of the agreement. Pointing the gun to his side, he shot a security guard in the leg without looking. He doesn't kill innocents. Hope that guy doesn't have hemophilia. Quickly he grabs the target by the collar and pulls him in front of him, forming a human shield. He escorted the target to his car while he was still begging for his life. The target was stuffed in the trunk of a crappy car he bought for a couple thousand yen. Later, the assassin checked the window outside. He laughs at the police and the heroes attempt to locate him. They assume he took the target to a faraway location. But in reality it was only opposite to the building. Please. Don't do anything, I'm begging you. God, please. He has better stuff to do than listening to a sack of shits like you. The assassin checked his drill and gave it a whirl. You don't know me, do you? The assassin inquired, because if you do, you know I don't let targets live unless the contractors say so. I know who you are, Izuku Midoriya. I know you don't, but please. Just this once. Izuku then put on his headphones and started playing some 80s music. It's gonna be a long night. Izuku woke up in the apartment room. He shakes and tries to calm himself. He had the dream again. That damn dream. He saw how Kaken had tormented him, how he was told by his hero, All Might, that he could not become a hero. He saw how his mother had died. It was a murder. She died while walking home from work, a villain mugged her, and the hero nearby tried to help. But the hero's quirk caused the death of his mother. That day he was broken. His mother, one of the things that kept him going, had died. After that his father, instead of taking him in, threw him away. Some father. He felt angry at him. The police decide to put him in an orphanage. It was terrible. People in school were terrible, but at the orphanage, it was worse. Some of the people were alright. But there were bullies, people angry at everything since they were either left by their parents or they died. As days passed, he grew colder and more distant. He tried to commit suicide 3 days later. He could not take it. His mother died. His father threw him away. The bullies tormented him. And the therapist was useless. But in his grief he didn't notice that the building was not tall enough to kill him. Instead he broke his bones and had a head injury. The doctors warned there will be change in behavior, he will grow more hostile, and something else he could not remember. But he did know that he grew more psychopathic every day since then. One day, after he returned to the orphanage from watching a kung fu movie, he and his mother used to watch those when he was young, and the bullies attacked him once more. But this time it was different. When one of them tried to punch him, he was blocked and hit back. As the bullies tried to swarm him, he fought them all with skills he didn't know he had. How did he learn those? What the hell happened? He soon found out he had an ability called photographic reflexes. It was not a quirk, sadly, it was a photographic memory, but a whole lot scarier. He had the same abilities of photographic memory, but a bonus is that he can be able to replicate the movement of people just by looking at them. When he found out, he didn't know how to react. He could use it to be a hero, but he had lost that dream long ago. And he decided that he doesn't want to save lives anymore. He lost a dream when a hero caused the death of his mother. He decided to leave the orphanage he stole for a living. But, as psychopathic he was, he only stole from the rich. His first kill was in self-defense. A man tried to mug him, but he had watched hundreds of fighting tutorials and such, easily disarming the man. He then used the gun to shoot the man when he tried to use his quirk. But he didn't feel anything, in fact he felt a sense of peace. And then it was gone. He wanted more of that, and when he decided to become a hired killer, it was the best choice he made in his entire life. Now he is 15 years old, a year has passed since his mother died, he is now one of the most deadly assassins. Able to counter quirks and fight even the most dangerous of villains and heroes in hand-to-hand combat. However, he has a set of rules he will never break. A code. Never kill innocents or heroes. As much as he hates heroes, he knew there were still good ones out there. Like All Might and such. Yes, he still loved All Might, he understood why he told him that he could not be a hero and respected him for continuing to be a hero despite his injuries. But thinking about his past made him feel empty. He needed to go out. Later. He was now in his favorite cafe eating breakfast. He wore his favorite clothes. A white dress shirt with a green vest. In the sleeve of his shirt was his favorite knife, he had stolen it when he first escaped the orphanage. He had used it multiple times and it never failed him. It was also easy to carry around and conceal. He drank his coffee mixed with a bit of whiskey, he got it when he assassinated one of his targets. Well, he didn't have a stomach anymore, so. He then felt slightly at peace. Coffee with whiskey was one of the things that put him at peace. Oh, Scotty doesn't know. Oh. So don't tell Scotty. Scotty doesn't know. Scotty doesn't know. That was his ringtone. Stupid and annoying, he knows. He put it like that because if he wants it to be over so he has to answer it. Unknown number. Hello. Hello, Izuku Midoriya. He tensed. Only a handful of people have this number. And he doesn't know a voice that sounds like Darth Vader. Hello. Jim's whorehouse. How may I direct our call? What? This is a rare chance, he should have some fun, right? I am going to ignore that Izuku Midoriya. Whatever. Who is this? I am merely a man interested in your very particular set of skills. Taken. I can't help it. I have a job for you. I'm sorry I can't hear you. Something is wrong with my signal. Hello. Hello. BZZT. Crackle. Hello. He said while pulling the phone away from him and shaking it. 1 million yen. That stopped him. He quickly adopted a serious tone and said, what's the job? I want your help to break into the UA. Midoriya was holding his phone, still shocked at the request. Break into the UA? You mean UA? Hero School UA? Best hero school in Japan UA? Most heavily defended school in Japan UA? Defenses that make Fort Knox look like a pillow foe. The guy on the phone cut him off. Yes. That UA. Okay, press pause for a minute. This guy wants me to break into the UA? Me? I know I'm good, but holy shit, I am not that good. Do not worry. You will join my allies in their attack and act as one of the commanders for my League of Villains. League of Villains? Do we wear matching bowling outfits? If you accept, go to this location tomorrow at 9 p.m. He hung up. No goodbyes. That's rude. Then there was a message sent to him and he saw the location. Not far away from his apartment. Did they know where he lives? He will need to move again. Alright, time for a good old-fashioned bad angel. Good angel, what says you, angel? He looks to his right shoulder to see a chibi angel him. Don't do it. You need to stop them. They'll kill the students there. Kids. You don't kill kids or cause their death, remember. Alright, thank you. Bad side. What you got? You should join them. Screw those little pieces of shits. They're studying to be like the hero that killed your mom. Remember that. Don't listen to him. Listen to me. Don't listen to him. He's leading you to the path of righteousness. I'm leading you to the one that rocks. Cool down the bad side. Murdering kids don't rock. Okay, the jury has reached its decision. Good side wins. Need to stop these guys. How? Maybe you should pretend to join them and sabotage their plans. Or you can murder everyone. Okay, I definitely can't murder all of them. The caller might be working for someone else or isn't participating in the fight. He'll find out and I'll be screwed. You never listen to me. Cause you're stupid. You're the fighting and angry side. I'm the smart and rational side. Sir, you have been sitting here for the past 4 hours, I must ask you to leave. Huh? Izuku looked at his watch and saw that 4 hours had passed. Crap, talking to myself takes lots of time. I'll need some ammo. Later. Izuku went inside a wine shop. He told the man at the counter he would be using tasting room 7, which is code for armory. This wine shop is actually a front for a gun shop for criminals. It's also his favorite gun shop. The old man gives him a free toffee for every purchase. Nice guy. British too. Mr. Midoriya. My favorite customer. What's the occasion? Izuku looked around and saw improvements to the tasting room. You renovated this place? Yes, I did. The old man knocked on the 5-inch thick wall of stainless steel. Also layered with pykrete. Fun fact about pykrete, it's made of wood and ice, but it is bulletproof. In WW2 they wanted to make a pykrete aircraft carrier. Izuku whistled nice. Anyways, I came for some ammunition. I'll need the usual ones. The old man nodded very well, but I must show you this new one that just came in. He reached underneath the table and retrieved a box. Inside this contains one of the 7 deadly sins, ready to be unleashed upon your enemies. Now I'm interested. Izuku leaned forward. Which one? The old man smirked and said. Wrath. The box unlocked and inside was a couple of shotgun shells. Izuku chuckles. I see what you did there. The old man picked up one. These were imported from America, it's called Dragon's Breath. It fires a streak of fire with a range of 100 feet. It burns at 3000 degrees. Enough to make even those with the strongest hardening quirks uncomfortable. Izuku's eyes gleamed. I'll take 10 of those. But you don't know how much they cost. 10 of those. Very well. He clicked a calculator. So 5 magazines for your R15 and M16A2, 6 for your Glock 17, 2012 gauge for your Mossberg 590A1, and 2 clips for your M24 SWS. As well as 10 Dragon's Breath. Yep. That'll be 80,000 yen. Okay, that's still in my budget, just slightly expensive. Shall I have everything dropped at the mailbox? Why not? See you later, became old man. Izuku walked away, but the old man fake coughed. Are you forgetting something? He flicked an unwrapped toffee at Izuku which he catches with his mouth. Still got it, old man. Have a good day, Mr. Midoriya. Happy hunting. Izuku was loading clips in his guns. If he was going to meet a bunch of people about to pay him 1 million yen to infiltrate UA with him, he was going to do it heavily armed. He then put on his suit. A dark green bodysuit with white shoulder pads and black streaks on the side. A red utility belt is attached to him and he puts on a metal face mask. The mask functions as a gas mask and also an oxygen mask in case he has to go underwater. He also had a pair of goggles that allowed him to see in thermal and night vision. He walked down the streets with his weapons and suits and when a citizen asked what he was wearing and he responded. Cosplay party. He was now in the address, he looked around. Nobody here, he flipped the safety off his R15 and checked the surroundings. Hello? Did anyone here order a hitman to attack UA? Suddenly a black mist appeared in front of him. And a voice was carried through it which sounded like one of those creepy guys in horror games. I'm in, although I would prefer if you didn't shout out our plans. Izuku decided to test what was the most and threw a rock through it. Warp gate. Rare quirk. Izuku steps through and when he walks through the gate he finds himself in a bar. Welcome to the League of Villains, Izuku Midoriya. There was another voice, one filled with arrogance and pride. Izuku doesn't like the person already. You're not my father. Everyone in the room looked confused. Star Wars reference. The guy who called me sounded like Vader. Get it? Come on, it's funny. But nobody laughed. I would kill you for disrespecting Sensei if you weren't valuable. Came the arrogant voice that belonged to a man in his early 20s, probably a few years older than him. Wait a minute. Is that a hand on his face? Sure enough, it was a pale hand on the guy's face. Whoa, do you have a hand fetish or something? What's it called? Queerophilia. He could feel the handman glaring at putting his hand on his own face. How does he see through that? This is not the time for petty fights, Izuku Midoriya. Izuku turned to see a TV with the words audio only displayed on the screen. Hey, you're the guy that called me. Not gonna make an appearance. No, I am not, Izuku Midoriya. Well, let me just say I accept the job offer. But on one condition. Name it. I get paid 3 million yen. Not 1 million. 3. The handman was now angry. Master. Do not pay this child a dime. Let me kill him and we'll find another one. Hold on, Tamura. So the handman's name is Tamura. He is a valuable asset. And it is reasonable to pay him more. Thanks, Vader. So what the real mission? We aren't just gonna go in and let them arrest us, right? What's the bigger picture? You wanna kill All Might or something? That is correct, Midoriya. We are going to kill the symbol of peace. Which way is the exit again? Izuku was wondering how they were gonna kill All Might, and an hour ago he accepted to join the League of Villains. They were gonna attack in a few days. Meanwhile he was in a lab. Obviously not owned by him, no. He broke into it. This lab contains a prototype sedative powerful enough to take down giant people instantly. He knew that the League isn't made of powerful people. Only the Mist Guy and Handman were powerful. And the Handman revealed that he would use a legendary in order to beat the legendary. The Pokemon reference. Guy must play some video games. If only he wasn't insane, they could be good friends. Well, actually both of them are insane, but Izuku is less than the Handman. Anyway, back on topic. He assumes the legendary must be a powerful individual. So he decided to use the powerful sedative to incapacitate the legendary. Please. I have a family. Oh yeah, this was Steve. Izuku doesn't really know his name, so Steve. Steve's a scientist here and was about to help him open the vault. And you'll see them again if you open this up. Steve reluctantly opens the vault, grumbling, not my shit anyways. Izuku took it and gave Steve a 1000 yen. For your trouble. Thanks, Steve. My name's Kaido. Next day. So this was the legendary, huh? A giant bird man. Izuku wasn't really impressed. Tamura on the other hand was acting like the proud owner of an exotic pet. Rambling about how strong Nomu is and how it will crush the symbol of peace and yada yada yada. Izuku marches through the warp gate armed to the teeth with multiple guns on him. From pistols to RPGs. This was gonna be a long day. As they marched through he saw multiple villains following them, no doubt thinking they would kill some kids or teachers. Izuku on the other hand was thinking on how to save them without looking suspicious. Suddenly one of the teachers jumped into the fray. Wearing a black long sleeve shirt and pants. Kinda looks like a ninja with a gray scarf and yellow goggles. This was Eraserhead. He had studied his fighting style through numerous CCTV footage and his PR, photographic reflexes, memorized them. He watched in awe as he fought numerous villains. Guy has balls of steel. Izuku activated his calm Kurogiri. I'm heading to the zones to get the students. Mind sending me there? Of course, hold on for a minute. Izuku walked through another gate and saw he arrived in the fire zone. His thermal and night vision will be next to useless here. He heard a fight happening and turned to see a student with a tail fighting numerous villains. Morons, don't swarm him or you won't have space to use your quirks. Once the villains were defeated, the tail guy looked at Izuku. You're a villain too, huh? Izuku shrugged and upholstered his R-15. Nothing personal, just business. The tail guy charged at him, moving in random patterns to confuse his aim. No doubt hoping to engage him in close-quarter combat. Izuku was a master marksman and could easily shoot him, but he isn't here to kill. He was here to prevent deaths. Because, as evil as he is, he still had a code. The tail guy swung his large tail at him, but Izuku already predicted that. His PR only needed a few seconds to kick in, so he dodged the attack and hit him with the butt of his R-15. The tail guy was obviously stunned. This guy wasn't like the other villains, he knew what he was doing, he thought. The tail guy immediately retreated and hid himself. Izuku shot at the area where he thought he was, but suddenly he appeared behind him and tried to attack. Only for it to fail, as Izuku dodged it and hit him again, this time with his knuckle, the tail guy retreated and his eyes using hit and run tactics. Clever. But it was no use, as he had figured out where he would attack and without warning, swung his rifle like a bat and smacked the tail guy in the face, knocking him out. 1 down, 18 to go. Hey Kurogiri, I'm done here. Send me to another. The black gate appeared before him and he walked through. This was only one, he might have to fight multiple soon. Izuku walks through the gate, finding himself in some sort of city with rain everywhere, some sort of downpour zone. He quickly turned on his thermal vision, no longer obscured by multiple heat signatures, and scanned for students and villains. He spotted 2 people running and chased after them. He climbed a building with his grappling hook and used his M24 SWS scope to assess the situation. What he saw amazed him. A shadowy bird was decimating villains, and it seemed to come from a raven-looking kid with a black cloak. Edgy much. The quirk that creates an entity to help fight. That was a rare and powerful quirk. He has to take notes on it later. Okay, attack plan, take out the guy with red suit first, looks weak, but don't underestimate him. Then take care of Shadow Guy. Good plan, he quickly jumped off the building and drop-kicked the guy with red suit. The Raven boy was alarmed and the shadow bird came at him, quickly he shot the bird with a bullet. No effect. Obviously. Stupid me. The shadow bird smashed him into some buildings repeatedly. Okay. Time out please. But he was ignored. Okay. This guy is obviously made of shadow, what to do? That's it. Izuku reached into his red utility belt and used the item. Are you trying to beat Dark Shadow with a flashlight? Okay, this was a stupid plan. Of course there is not enough light. I made you flinch a bit, right? He got thrown across the street. Owie. He saw his saw off in front of him, he dropped it when he was being thrown around like a rag doll. These were imported from America, it's called Dragon's Breath. It fires a streak of fire with a range of 100 feet. It burns at 3000 degrees. Thank you, old man. He quickly loaded a Dragon Breath shell and aimed at the incoming shadow. Oosh, terrible at sound effects, imagine a flamethrower sound mixed with a shotgun shot. The shadow instantly retreated and became smaller, it returned to the Raven boy whimpering. Crap, now I feel bad. The Raven boy was shocked and didn't see a knuckle duster smash his face in time. Breathe down. Crap, my ribs hurt. Ow, crap. Kurogiri. Send me to another zone. Done here. Ow. Alright. Warp gate coming. Hope the next ones are easier. Meanwhile. Aoi Rozu Pav. Aoi Rozu and her friend were fighting for their lives, the villains had attacked out of nowhere and transported them to different zones in the USJ. They had defeated a whole group thanks to Kaminari's quirk. Although his brain was short-circuited, he'll live. Suddenly, the same black gate appeared. Momo and Jiru prepared to fight another wave and were shocked to find a guy their age armed to the teeth. He looked at them both and said, "Did I walk into a ladies' zone or something?" Pointing at the two girls. Denki was drooling and giving thumbs up, unaware, and the armed boy laughed at him PFFFT. Jesus, what the hell is that guy doing? What is wrong with this guy? Momo though. The boy regained his composure and said, "Look, I just want you to know I don't really like fighting girls. Not sexist. So drop the sword and staff, I'll let you off easy if you do." Deer responded by using her quirk and blasting a sonic wave at the boy. Only for him to be unaffected. "Sorry, I made precautions in case one of you guys had a sound-based quirk. It ain't gonna work on me. We can take him. He's just one guy," Momo said to Jiru. One guy armed to the freaking teeth. They both charged at him swinging the weapons, but the boy pulled a tactical baton and blocked the attacks. They both tried to overwhelm him, but it appeared that he knew what they were going to do and when they were going to do it. He was constantly blocking, dodging, and redirecting their attacks. How the heck is this guy so good? Does he have a premonition quirk? No quirk, sweetheart, 100% quirkless. All this you see, he waved at himself, is all skill. Fun fact, I learned all this last year. He must be lying, she couldn't believe a quirkless person their age learned those skills in a year. They both attack him again, but this time he fights back. He knocked out Jiru and threw something at her. Suddenly she felt immense pain, she tried to use her quirk to make something to free her, but the pain caused her not to think clearly. Izuku Pav. Well, that was easier than the rest. The chick with the red spandex put up a fight but was still easy to beat thanks to his PR. He saw a villain with a skull mask approach. Great fight, kid. You'll be a great villain in the future. He saw this man before. This was a veteran villain with a warrant for arrest for the murder of 10 people. He was approaching the girls with a gleam in his eyes. "Hey, what are you doing?" The skull mask guy looked back and said, "Gonna have some fun for a bit." Uh-oh. Someone called 911. He hates rapists. They are number 3 in his hate list. Next to mimes and that blonde SOB. Dude. She's 15. What the heck? Oh, relax, nobody would know. Motherfucker. Izuku pulled his Colt Diamond back and shot the guy into the bottom part. He looks at him in shock while grasping the underside. You shot my. Yeah, I did. Don't worry, you'll bleed out in 15 seconds. Don't bother saving a seat for me, I won't be there for a while. Duh. The blonde was still walking around with thumbs up and drooling. That shit's hilarious. He chuckled and called Kurogiri. Next please. Oh, by the way, one of the villains attacked me so I had to kill him. No matter, these men are disposable. Thank God for that. He walked through the gate, unaware that Yaoi Rozu was still conscious. Wondering why the vanilla had saved her and Jiru. Collapse zone. Izuku landed in the middle of a collapsed city. Good terrain for a gunfight. His kind of playing field. He could hear a couple explosions and look behind a building. No. It can't be. Can it? It is. In front of him was the blonde SOB. Kitsuki Bakugu. Also known as Kaken. He made it to UA. Sanovich made it. Anger boiled inside him. He made it. He tormented me and he made it. Bastard. Ears of anger towards Kaken started to come out. His evil side was chanting. Kill him. Make him pay. Kill. Yes, he would. He has to make him pay. He needs to. Hakken. And so a fated battle between rivals commenced. Fucking villains are too easy. In the collapse zone, Kitsuki and Kirishima were battling against the villains with little difficulty. They only encountered 2 or 3 dangerous foes and were planning on joking with the rest of the class in the entrance. Then he heard it, a voice full of anger and hatred shouting Kakken. He hasn't heard that name in ages. Not since middle school. He turned around and saw a guy his age armed with guns. His face was hidden by a hood, goggles, and a metal mask. But he can feel the killer intent radiating from the green guy. It frightened him a bit, but he recovered and retorted, "Who the fuck are you, fucker? You don't recognize my voice." "Oh, right. Forgot to turn this off." He clicked a button on his mask and his voice became clear. "How about now, Kakken?" "Still doesn't ring a bell." The green guy sighed. "I'm hurt you don't recognize me." But after all, he paused for dramatic flair. "I am a shitty Deku not worth remembering, right?" "No, it can't be." "Deku?" Kirishima was confused. Did Kitsuki know the villain? He sounds like he hates him. He knew Kitsuki was a jerk, but this guy sounded like he wanted to kill him, resurrect him, and then kill him again, and will enjoy that. He can't possibly be that much of a jerk, right? He's supposed to be a hero. The villain responded, "Ding ding. You win a prize." He pulled a Glock 17, bullets. He fired a burst at Kitsuki, but Kirishima hardened and took them. "Back away, Ed. This is between me and Kakken. I have nothing against you. What kind of man leaves his friends?" And with that, Kirishima hardened again and charged. "Okay, respect to that guy. Sorry about this," thought Izuku. He ducked underneath a left hook and pointed a shotgun. Then fired point blank. Due to the hardening quirk, the bullets didn't penetrate his skin, but the whiplash hurt him and he lost concentration, allowing his quirk to be turned off. Izuku used this chance to whack him over the head with the shotgun, knocking him out. He turned to Kitsuki, still shocked at how Izuku was here and how he beat Kirishima. "Izuku Pav. What? Not happy to see me? I'm not surprised. You didn't want anyone from our shitty old school to come here with you, right? Actually, I don't go there anymore obviously, but I bet you're still pissed to see me, right?" There was an explosion and Kakken propelled himself towards Izuku at great speed and was preparing to kick Izuku's face. Go to hell. The kick was easily blocked. Too easily, it shocked Kitsuki. He then used his right hand to punch him. But Izuku saw that coming miles away and performed a judo flip. How did he do that? He's not that good. Kakken felt pain and winded when he landed. Meanwhile, Izuku was enjoying himself. He never felt so good. The voice of his bad side was cheering him on. "Kill that shit. Make him pay. And make him pay he will." Kakken got up and performed a backhand, which was propelled by explosion to do extra damage, but missed, and Izuku retaliated with a kick to the face. "What's wrong, Kakken? Aren't you a perfectionist? Are you getting tired? Aren't you ashamed to get your ass kicked by a worthless Deku?" Izuku mocked him. Kakken got up and did a high kick aiming for his head. But Izuku did a split and punched him between the legs in his vulnerable spot. "Thank you, Johnny Cage." Still stunned from the blow, Kakken couldn't defend when Izuku grabbed him and threw him to a nearby wall. 2 broken ribs. Kakken got up and ignored the pain, focused on trying to beat Izuku. But thanks to his PR, Kakken never hit Izuku. He countered each and every blow with skill and countered with every move he learned from heroes, Eraserhead, Death Arm, Kumai Woods, and All Might. Kakken tried an aerial attack, but that also failed. "Kill him. This was for everything you did to me. No more." He pinned him down and punched him repeatedly. "No more. More. No more. More." Kakken was blacking out now. "No, you don't black out now." Izuku reached and grabbed his face. "Look at me. Look at me as you black out. Look at the man who beat you. The useless Deku who beat you." "Enough. He's already beaten. No. He has to suffer. Remember what he's done. You're better than this. Don't." Izuku stares at his unconscious foe, the man who tormented him for years. He has finally gotten revenge. He saw people in movies after getting revenge. They say that they felt empty. "I don't feel empty, no, I feel alive. More than I ever felt before." This was the greatest feeling he felt. "You need to kill him. Make him pay." "No, he's done." Then he remembered. He still needed to stop them from killing students. He needed to go now. Then he called Kurogiri and the students were done. "Dead?" "Yes, he lies dead, most are." The warp gate opened in front of him. "Come back to the center. We need everyone here." He walked through and saw a gruesome sight. Nomu pinned down Eraserhead and broke his arm. "Is he alive?" Tamura replied, "Unfortunately, yes." Then Kurogiri appeared. "I apologize, but a student escaped, no doubt to raise the alarm. We must go." Thank every god and deity in heaven. Tamura started scratching his neck. Gross. Kurogiri, if you weren't our way out I would kill you right now. Let's leave now. Then he twisted his neck to the side and he had a killer intent, but first. Then he moved with incredible speed. Let's leave a few dead kids. In front of him were a frog girl, a guy with purple ball hair, and a girl with a space-themed suit. He reached out to them with his hand. Bang. A shot rang and Tamura dodged a bullet out of instinct. It had only grazed him. He looked back and saw Midoriya pointing a Glock at him. No killing kids, Tamura. Leave them alone or the next won't miss. He growled, traitor. Suddenly there was an explosion and all attention turned to the entrance. The door flew off and landed somewhere in the facility. A man stepped through. It was All Might. He's here. It's been a year since he met him and the sight still took away his breath. Have no fear, students. He glared at the villains. I am here. Tamura growled again. Looks like we get a continuation. It's All Might. But he's not smiling. All Might stood on the entrance steps, not smiling, but glaring at them. He felt a tinge of fear. Don't worry, he won't hit you. You saved students. By beating them up and leaving one with severe brain trauma. I don't like agreeing with the other guy, but he's right. In All Might's minds, you're a villain. Don't be pessimistic, guys, heal. Izuku felt a tremendous blow to his head which knocked him down. That hurt. I think I got a concussion. Babu bubble uglol puned. Hey, what's going on? The concussion put the other guy out of service. He contains all your fighting ability, so you won't be able to handle a gun for a while. Mother fudger. Why the fudge can't I swear? He also contains all your negative emotions. Sorry. Well, that's fudging great. Meanwhile, All Might is engaged in a fight with Nomu. His attack's not making it flinch a bit. Boop, this guy has shock absorption. Where's the sedative? I don't know. Izuku searches himself trying to find it. Apparently the bad side also contains his ability to find shit in his utility belt. Found it, now I need to. Izuku moves back in instinct and dodge a hand. We're not done yet. Boop. He forgot he betrayed them. The number you have dialed is not available, please leave a message after the beep. Beep. Izuku dodges another hand. Come on, let assassins with morals be assassins with morals. He dove underneath Tamura's arm and ran to Nomu. But a warp gate appeared in front of him, so he swerved to the right. Come on, Kurogiri. I thought we were friends. I've only met you for a total of 5 hours. And I hated every second. Ouch, that hurts. Izuku saw that All Might was trapped. A warp gate opened up where he intended to smash Nomu to the ground, and now Nomu was gripping his injured spot. Izuku leapt at him, sedative in hand. Only for ice to surround him and Nomu. Oh man. Fudge. Listen to me. I know you think I'm a bad guy, which I am. But I don't want the symbol of peace to die, so let me go, I can save him. However, the ice guy ignored him. He saw All Might break free, and Nomu too. Which sacrificed part of him, but those parts instantly regenerated. If only he can use his fucking gun. Wait a minute. I said fuck. Bad side. You're back. Bet you fucking miss me, dickhead. Izuku loaded the sedative in his customized art gun. Only one shot. Of course the god wanted to fuck things up because Nomu moved outside of his sight. Fuck. Okay, calm down. You can shoot him blind. Remember what that blind guy did in the movie. Focus your other senses. Izuku extended his hearing and he heard the fight behind him. Just like that devil superhero guy in that old comic. Izuku moves the gun to point behind him. He shoots. All Might Pav. Nomu was extremely tough, he had taken lots of damage, his time was up, and he had taken another hit meant for young Todoroki and young Uraraka. He braced himself when the Nomu charged. But the unexpected happened. Nomu started to slow. He started to walk instead of run. Then he fell, trying to crawl to his target. What happened? Izuku Pav. Fuck yeah, he hit it. Fuck you, Fader God, or whoever the fuck is up there. Fuck you. And now they are going to arrest you. Yeah, he's right. Don't worry, I have an escape plan. He moved his fingers to his sawed-off, still containing a dragon breath shell, and fired it. It melted through the ice and left scorch marks on his costume, but he'll live. Meanwhile, Tamura was livid. His pet was shot by the traitor, and the shot caused Nomu to fall asleep. It's not fair. They cheated. If only that traitor wasn't here. Tamura, calm down. Our henchmen are recovering, and Nomu damages All Might. We still have a chance. Tamura nodded. Yes, we do. All Might was panicking internally, he couldn't hold his form any longer. The villains were now charging at him. I need backup. Suddenly 2 gunshots rang. One coming from Snipe's revolver and another from Izuku's M16A2. Both hit Tamura in the shoulders. Snipe because he was aiming for it. Izuku because his head was still messed up from the concussion and missed the head. The teachers then fought the awake henchmen, defeating them easily, and Tamura and Kurogiri retreated, with Tamura swearing vengeance. But with those two having no time to recover Nomu, it seems impossible. Time to make my leave. But of course he was still marked as a villain. So it wasn't a surprise when he was shot in the leg. His suit protected him, but it still hurt like hell. He saw the UA teachers rush at him, luckily he studied all of them, so he knew their moves. President Mick screamed at him, so he shot the pro hero speaker device, making him unable to scream without affecting his allies. The wave of ectoplasm clones ran at him, so he blew them all up with his M16A2's grenade launcher. Izuku started to limp away and use his grappling gun to try to escape, but it was shot out of his hand by Snipe. Izuku turned and returned fire, firing warning shots which forced Snipe to take cover. A wave of cement rushed at him, so he reloaded his grenade launcher and shot at it. Then a pink smoke surrounded him, it was Midnight Somnambulist quirk. Luckily his mask prevented him from breathing it in. But it covered up another wave of cement that trapped him. You're screwed. Shut up. So you're wondering what I did right? You're gonna do something like vandalism or drug dealing or some other small stuff. Nope, I got arrested for the assassination of 50 people and breaking into UA, as well as beating up some of their students. You're wondering how a guy like me killed 50 people and beat up UA students. Especially since I'm quirkless. But hear me out, when I was 14, I jumped off a roof, broke a few bones, and had a head injury. That resulted in these two voices in my head. Fuck you. Aw, he remembers. Anyways, I also got this sweet thing called photographic reflexes. I actually wanted to be a hero, but I decided fuck that, killing people for money seems more fun. Plus it helps me relax. But I made a code, no killing heroes or innocents. Only bad people. I mean killing bad people for money. It's nice. Anyways, business was good, but the league called to hire me, and I agreed because I gotta stop them from killing or injuring the students. You're wondering why I didn't call the cops, I mean what would I say? Hello officer? I'm a hitman, and my latest client wants me to break into the most heavily defended school in Japan. Nah, they won't believe me. So I decided to minimize the damage and stop them from killing. So I beat them up, then the villains will think they were dead or something, I mean all of them were pretty fucking stupid. For some smart ones. It was a gamble, but it paid off. I also stole sedatives to stop bird brains. I copied that Red Devil vigilante guy from an old comic, the one with super hearing. And I shot the bird guy, and let me tell you the league was pissed. So much they left me. No big deal. Unfortunately the teachers still thought I was a bad guy cause they didn't see me shoot the sedative dart. So I fought them, but I was injured so I lost. So now I'm in police custody. Yippee. The one called Shigaraki, his quirk allows him to disintegrate anything he touches. We've been through the list of men in their 30s to 20s with no luck. Nothing turned up on the warp user, Kurogiri either. Neither are registered and are both using aliases. Their quirks aren't recorded, making them part of the underworld. Namasa said. He was debriefing the UA teachers about the situation. The villains they caught didn't give any valuable information besides that they were there to kill All Might. The kid they captured wasn't talking to them, and the bird creature Nomu appears to be mute. Snipe was reasonably frustrated at the lack of information, so we know next to nothing. I reckon we gotta learn fast or the leader of those varmints, Shigaraki high wound will heal, and he'll be back again. They went on to discuss the nature of the attack, and the topic went to Shigaraki and his man-child behavior. Bragging about Nomu's quirk, throwing tantrums when things didn't go his way. He is definitely a man-child. The kid with too much power, you saying? Maybe he didn't receive general quirk counseling in elementary school. So what does that matter? Namasa decided to interrupt things between Vlad King and Midnight before things got out of hand. The total number of villains that were captured were 72 with one dead. Most were backstreet thugs, but few of them were dangerous. The kid with the green hoodie. He was seen taking out some of the students, including that explosion kid with little to no injuries, and for some reason killed one of the grunts. He also has been really helpful. With his help we have evidence to arrest dozens of criminal organization leaders. However, I don't have anything on him other than his name, Izuku Midoriya. He went missing about a year ago, no mom and dad disowned him. So what? He's probably just another grunt he hired, why mention him? Vlad King questions. His school records show that he is quirkless and his PE grade is terrible. That got the teacher's attention, a quirkless person beat their students. Sure, there were some powerful quirkless people out there, but one with terrible physical ability defeated the students. That was impossible. Suddenly All Might flashed back to an event that happened a year ago. Even if I'm quirkless, can I ever be a hero like you? He felt bad about ruining that kid's dream, but why was he thinking about that now? Wait a minute. All Might remembered picking up the kid's notebook and signing it. On the cover was the name. Izuku Midoriya. It can't be. In a way, both of them have potential to grow. If only they had proper mentors to follow. Nezu noticed All Might shuddering. Is everything alright? I think I know that kid. Everyone in the room looks at All Might. Well, tell us how you knew him. Midnight inquired. As All Might explained how he met Izuku, the boy in question was sitting in an interrogation room and sneezed. Someone's thinking about me. How nice. In front of him were two cops, they were playing the good cop, bad cop act. It was more interesting in real life than fiction. You don't want to upset my partner here, he gets real bad if he does. By interesting he means more funny. Look pal. I've been waterboarded and had the shit beat out of me. This guy doesn't scare me. The cops looked annoyed. Look pal. You've been arrested for carrying weapons without license, murder, and attacking the UA student. Really? I didn't know. I thought I'd been arrested for stealing a pack of gummy bears. Izuku sarcastically replied. We can do this the easy way or the hard way, kid. Tell us where your league buddies are hiding. Well, if I wanted to tell you I would, but unfortunately I do not know. And, as I said over a dozen times. They warped me to their location, I don't know anything except it was a bar. And I'm sure you already heard it from the 72 villains. Oh wait, make that 71. I almost forgot I killed that rapist fuck. Suddenly a man in a suit walks through the door. That's enough, officer, I'll take it from here. The officers grunted and let the man in a trench coat take their place. Once they exit, the man with the trench coat turns to Izuku. Izuku Midoriya, my name is Namasa Tsukauchi. He sits down. Listen, if you're gonna put me in jail, hurry the fuck up. It's boring sitting in this room. We're not putting you in jail. Izuku paused. I'm sorry, but I must have misheard. No jail. You have been really helpful with us. Because of the info you gave us, we captured hundreds of criminal organization leaders and arrested entire gangs. We can overlook a few crimes. Plus, we traced your bank transactions. You're a mercenary, right? No, I'm a candy vendor. Anyways, we did some digging and found you donated billions of yen to charity organizations around Japan and some overseas. You helped save 100,000 lives. That, and you stopped Nomu from further damaging and possibly killing All Might. Why did you become a villain? Izuku thought for a while. To be honest, I don't really know. It just seems better than being a hero at that moment. Namasa nodded and took down some notes. Anyway, back to the jail topic. No prison time for the murder of 50 people. Namasa smirked a bit. Well, there is one thing you need to do. Next day. Uraraka was walking to her class. Few days ago, villains attacked them in the USJ, luckily All Might was there and saved them. But she couldn't stop thinking, why did that Nomu guy collapse? All Might didn't damage him, so what happened? Get the fuck out of my way. Bakugo seems to be in a worse mood. Way worse, but she didn't have time to think of any of that. What the shit? Uraraka looked to see what caused Bakugo to flare up. What she saw surprised her. Sitting in the middle of the class was a green-haired boy. Hey Kaken. Missed me? Few days ago. There's a government program out there that rehabilitates villains. Make them into heroes. You'll have to study in the UA and graduate. As well as wear a security collar that'll give you shocks if you try to attack students. Nope. Izuku bluntly said. This guy wants him to go study at UA. In the same school as Kaken. Nope. Why not? Namasa asked. Because I'll be in Kaken's class. Hell no. I ain't gonna study in the same class as him. And wear an electric collar. I'm not an animal. No thanks, I would rather go to jail. The collar is for security. Izuku stood firm. Nope. Namasa sighed. Very well. You'll get a 20-year sentence. 10 for good behavior. Izuku paused. How do I put on the collar? At least he can mock Kaken as much as he wants. Flashback over. And here he was. In the same class as Kaken. Duty. The collar felt itchy, but he'll get used to it. It only shocks him if he tampers with it, breaks rules, and attacks students. It also can be turned on manually via remote by teachers. Stupid government program. Izuku mutters. Better than sitting in a high-security jail cell for 20 years. This better be worth sitting behind Kaken for 3 years. What the shit? Speak of the devil. Izuku turned to see Kaken and that girl he saved in the USJ. The one with brown hair. Izuku decided to poke at the beehive. Hey Kaken. Missed me? Kaken looked ready to murder him. Too bad he can't fight back because of the damned collar. But he can hurt his ego. What's the problem, Kaken? Not expecting a useless Deku like me to be here. The rest of the class started arriving, each one questioning Izuku's sudden appearance in their class. Is he a new guy? What's with the collar? Is he a new kid? Must have a powerful quirk to get in this late. Okay, the whispers were getting annoying now. Luckily the homeroom teacher stopped them. Everyone, this is your new classmate, Izuku Midoriya. Say hi, then get into your seats. Hey, you sound familiar. Have we met? Asked a girl with earphone jacks attached to her ears. This was the moment he was waiting for. Dropping the bombshell. They are gonna be so pissed. Yeah, I kicked most of your asses here in USJ. Now for the fallout. Crap, I should have bought popcorn. Everyone has different reactions. They range from pure anger to straight up fear. Why is he here? He's a villain. What the heck? Fucking shit-faced son of a bitch. He could tell that the last one was from Kaken. Before he could blow Izuku's face off, a gray scarf wrapped around him. This made Izuku feel a bit weird. Teachers in his old school normally ignore Kaken trying to kill him. He can get used to this. Why the fucking shit is he here? Izuku smirked at the government program, bitch. Your tax dollars are funding my studies. Ain't that a bitch? Tell your parents I said thanks. One of them, the drooly guy from before, looking more normal, said to Sensei, is this a good idea? What if he attacks us? Chillax, drooly. This thing on my neck is keeping me from fighting you guys. Even if I could fight you, it won't be a fair fight. I mean, you guys are against me. Good luck trying to beat me. Now most of the class were pissed at his arrogance. But the ones he beat were more calm. They had seen his skills in battle and they wouldn't underestimate him. Alright everyone, get into your seats, homeroom's starting and we're wasting time. Everyone obeyed, but some still glared at Izuku. Kaken was wishing they were in combat training, as he could have a rematch. Time passed quickly, and Izuku turned out to be a genius, surprising some of his classmates. His time as a mercenary hitman had him studying to defeat quirks. He also had to calculate his earnings to make sure the contractors were not cheating him. If they did, he would snitch them to the police. Well, he would do that anyways even if they didn't. He always does that to contractors via anonymous information. It was now lunch, the food in the cafeteria was awesome. Damn, even the white rice is good. He noticed 3 people coming over to his table. The round-faced girl, glasses guy, and the redeed with a hardening quirk that he fought. Hey Izuku, right? Mind if we sit here? People were asking to sit with him. Back in middle school, no one did that. Why the hell not? They sat down and introduced themselves. Achako Uraraka, Tenya Iida, and Ijiro Kirishima. Kirishima broke the ice first. Hey, remember me? You shot me in the guts and knocked me out. Back in USJ. Wanted to make sure we don't have anything against each other, right? He remembered. This guy took bullets for someone like Kaken. That's worth remembering. Yeah. Izuku replied, we're cool. Cool. Then Iida popped in and said the teachers have asked me to keep an eye on you. I trust you'll behave. He said while chopping his hands. Sure. Then Izuku pointed at Uraraka. So why are you here? Well, she stammers. You saved Sayu, Mineta and me, so I wanted to say thanks. Why did you do that anyway? Izuku raised his eyebrow. Why shouldn't I? Well, Uraraka didn't know what word to use, afraid that villain was offensive to use. The gun for hire. That doesn't mean I don't have morals. Your friend's okay. None of you had PTSD, I hope. I really don't want another reason to go to hell, cause if they read out the list, it'll take a hell of a long time. Pun intended. Yeah, we're fine. Thanks. By the way, why did Katsuki call you Deku? Do you guys know each other? Izuku sighed. Yeah, we do. Deku is the name he gave me when we were kids. It's supposed to mean someone who can't do anything. He has used it since we were 4. Izuku hates those 10 years. Kaken spent all that time bullying him every day. Iida rubs his chin, a degrading nickname, huh? Kirishima said, I'm sure he doesn't mean it that way. Well, don't think you're useless. Wait, what? Did he hear her correctly? If it weren't for you I could have died. Also, I think the Deku sounds like never give up and it's cute. Error. Has stopped functioning. Blue screen. Error. Thanks. Izuku stammered. What the hell is wrong with him? He's a hitman mercenary. Why is he getting embarrassed talking to a girl? And she said his nickname is cute. What is going on? Later. It was now heroics lesson. Few more till school ends. All Might's teaching, right? Should be fun. I am here. He's here. Straight through the door like a hero. He wonders if All Might remembers him. Probably not. Good morning, students. As you know, we have a new student. Today we'll be doing battle training again. Get in your costumes and meet a training ground beta. Kaken grinned. Fucking finally. Izuku was now in the boys' room, changing into his suit. Luckily the school didn't make any modifications to them. If they did, he would have to kill them. Izuku checks the utility belt. The only thing in there was his grapple hook and a few other junk. None were lethal weapons. Later they were in training ground beta. Izuku decided to question All Might for his lack of weapons. Sir? My guns are missing. Have you seen them? All Might pulled a box out. They are here. Try to play nice, alright young Midoriya. Izuku grinned as his classmates frowned. Hello Jane. He named his Colt Jane, and knife Zane. Zane was missing, and in its place was a baton, but it'll do. Izuku felt something about them and decided to open up Jane's canister. What the shit? Inside were rubber bullets. Well, due to safety regulations, we decided to replace your ammunition with non-lethal ones. The class sighs in relief. At least with those they won't get seriously injured. Izuku on the other hand was disappointed. Now, on with the exercise. 6 villains are escaping the city. It's up to a team of 6 heroes to capture them before they escape. The villains can win if they defeat all the heroes or escape. So we have to look for them in this huge city, huh? Luckily my goggles still work. Alright. Time to pick teams. By ballots. Team Villain. Katsuki Bakugo. Shadow Todoroki. Rikito Sato. Mizo Shoji. Enki Kaminari. Yugo Aoyama. Team Heroes. Izuku Midoriya. Aoi Rozu Momo. Hyokajiru. Minoru Mineta. Kirishima and I. Tenya Iida. So Ponytail, Earphone Girl, Grape Head, Kirishima and Iida are in my team. Pretty well balanced. On the other hand, the villains are full of heavy hitters. But the bigger they are, the harder it's going to be for them to forget their defeat by a quirkless guy. Haken looked at him. When you lose, nobody's gonna remember the quirkless shit you are. Izuku calmly replied with what he was thinking a few moments ago, but if you lose nobody will let you forget. The class suit at the burn. Haken got more pissed. Later. They were somewhere in the city. The exit was far from their location to prevent them from just waiting for the villains. We should split up to look for them. I volunteer to go with the girls. Mineta said. The girls looked disgusted at him. Izuku replied with a baton to the face. Get your mind out the gutter dude. Listen up. I have a plan, follow it and we'll win. Jiru protested. Wait a sec. Who made you the leader? Izuku snorted. Well, other than my dashing good looks, tactical capabilities, etc. I think it's because I have more experience than you newbies. Whoa guys. Now isn't the time to fight. Exactly, we must find the villains and incapacitate them as quickly as possible. What's your plan Midoriya? Izuku looked at them then at a wrecking ball in the middle of the city. Get to this position, distract the baddies and wait for my signal, then fall back. Izuku said, pointing at the map. Why there? Jiru asked. I lived in the same neighborhood with Kaken for 10 years. I know how he thinks. He'll want to attack head on. This area will be where he'll check first. Most of them were surprised they knew each other and how he was able to determine where he'll search. Except for Kirishima and Iida. So what's the signal? You'll know when you see it. Momo, I need you with me. Hey. You're probably just gonna spend time together with a hot chick while we do the hard work. We need a new leader. Another baton to the face. Meanwhile. I don't get why we need to fight them. The exit's just a few miles away. Asked Enki. Tatsuki shouted cause fucking Deku somewhere here. I'm gonna fucking fuck that shit-face motherfucker son of a bitch up. And the rest just stayed silent. Suddenly Shoji signaled them to stop. I hear footsteps up ahead, only 4 sets though. Tatsuki growled. Where's the other 2? Deku better not be the ones fucking missing. Then 4 popped up and attacked. Sent an ice wall to trap them, but it was destroyed by Kirishima and Jiru's sonic blast. Tatsuki races to the center, blasting everything in sight. Where the fuck are you Deku? Meanwhile. Did someone say my name? Must be Kaken. Izuku and Momo were jogging to the wrecking ball. Only a few more meters. Midoriya, I didn't have a chance to thank you for what you did during the USJ. So thanks, I guess. What's Shitala? Oh yeah, he killed that rapist. No problem. And what do you mean I guess? Momo grimace, you murdered that man. There were numerous ways to incapacitate him and you killed him instead. Why? Just cause. Momo looked confused. Just cause. Yes, that's the reason. I did it because I could. And I hate rapists and pervs. Izuku looked up. We're here. Momo looked up and scanned how long the way up was. That's a long way. What do we do? Momo blushes as Izuku grabs her by the waist. What are you? Hold on tight. Then he pointed a grappling hook up and shot it. Few moments later they were in control. What do we do now? Izuku turned on his thermal vision and saw the fight a few miles away. Izuku grabbed the controls and moved the ball. You're not going to crush them, are you? She asked worriedly. Concerned for her classmate's safety. I'm not gonna hurt them. He moved the wrecking ball to the area. Much. Tatsuki was extremely pissed. Deku wasn't here. Fucking nerd ran off somewhere with Ponytail. When he finds him he's gonna make him regret looking down on him. Suddenly Denki shouts, "What the shit is that?" Everyone look to see a wrecking ball smashing buildings. He's trying to take us out with the wrecking ball. No, he's blocking our escape routes. Eku? You bastard. Meanwhile Izuku was having the time of his life. Fuck you Kaken. Hope you like 1,000 pounds of forged steel. He already blocked any route they could use to escape. Meanwhile Momo was questioning why she was here. Why do you need me when you have everything under control? Izuku responded, I need you to make a glider and a parachute. Momo was confused but obliged, giving him a parachute and a hang glider. She had to go outside to make it. What are you doing with those? Izuku strapped a couple firecrackers to the glider and put in the parachute. Something I saw from a video game. Before she could ask, Izuku glided off the wrecker. Meanwhile, what the heck? Are you seeing this? Is he crazy? People on both teams saw Izuku gliding towards them in a hang glider. Get down here fucker and fight me like a man. To everyone's surprise Izuku pointed the glider down and activated his parachute. Ever seen Jaws? Smile you son of a. There was a small explosion from the glider when it crashed. Then smoke surrounds them blocking their vision. Ain't gonna be no rematch. Izuku said as he punched Kaken. He growled and reluctantly said I must break you. Izuku was happy you got it. Someone got my reference. But the shouting gave his position away and Shoto sent an ice wave at him only for Izuku to dodge without looking. I watched your fight from up there. I predicted you'll do that. He shot a rubber bullet at Shoto and spoke in a deep voice, because I'm Bat Cough, how did Ben Affleck do this the entire movie? Kaminari tried to stun him, but Izuku moved out of the way, tripping Denki which made him land on Sato and Mizo, stunning them. My, don't you look stunning. Izuku dodged another explosion from Kaken. Come on. Give me your best shot. Kaken aimed his gauntlets at Izuku and was about to fire, but then. He'll just dodge and need a way to hit him. Now the smoke cleared and Katsuki saw Izuku's injured teammates. It's a long shot, but. He changed targets and pulled the pin. Izuku saw that and dove in front of the blast. He didn't know why he did that, he doesn't know anything about them other than their names. But for some reason, his legs moved by themselves. Izuku took the full blast. There was more smoke. Izuku's teammates went to check on him. The sight shocked them. His goggles were shattered and so was his mask. The suit he wore was burnt everywhere and the tears in them revealed third-degree burns that were caused by the explosion. Those in the control room were shocked. The class was shouting how unfair that was and how the classmates could have died. And All Might has to agree, but he can't stop the match for no reason. If it was inside a building he could, but he can't now. Katsuki was grinning happily. He did it. He hit Izuku. No way was he getting up for a while. Now he has to take care of the rest of the extras. He prepped another blast. Are you trying to kill us? Look how injured Midoriya is. Jiru shouted. Iida shouted at Bakugo to stop this at once. This isn't a very heroic man. Kirishima put in his 2 cents. Mineta was wondering if he could surrender. Momo was worried, she didn't have any more lipids, so she used them to create the items Izuku asked for. Shut the fuck up. If you can't handle it then you're all fucking weak and don't deserve to be here you fucking. He didn't finish as a rubber bullet broke his ribs. Izuku stood up, ignoring his injuries. How are you still standing? Jiru. Iida said stand down. You're bleeding. Izuku shrugged. I don't have time to bleed. Katsuki tried to pull the pin, but his hand was shot by another bullet, breaking it. Then his knees were shot next. Katsuki screams in pain. Then Izuku walked to him and Katsuki looked defiantly go fu. Izuku smashes his fist on the blonde's face before he finished. Shut the fuck up. Everyone was in shock. The new kid had taken out 2 of the strongest in their class and wiped the entire team. Everyone cheered and talked about how intense the battle was and how cool Izuku was. All Might smiled and said hero team wins. Later. Izuku woke up in a hospital bed feeling tired as hell. What happened during the training exercise? Then he remembered. He took a blast for his team and it nearly killed him. He checks his body to see if it's okay. Surprisingly he was healed. Don't strain yourself dear, you took a huge hit. You need to rest. Izuku looked at the old lady and instantly recognized her. You're a recovery girl. Wait a minute, where's Kaken and the rest? He's over there. She pointed to the bed next to him. The rest had minor damages, you 2 had the most. Here, have a Pez. Izuku smiles. Thanks. Recovery girl glances at a clock. If you hurry you can make it in time for the grading. Yeah sure. Thanks. He ran towards the training ground. Luckily it was near the nurse's office. Young Izuku, you're here. We're just starting to grade your assignment. Now the real MVP was Iida. Wait what? Apparently it was what the rest were thinking because everyone looked confused. A frog girl asked All Might, but shouldn't it go to Izuku? Thank you. Yes, why? Anyone can tell me why? He asked the class. Momo raised her hand. I do, sensei. Izuku's plan was reckless and could have injured his team. Ouch. I knew what I was doing, they wouldn't have died unless I wanted them to. Everyone looked at him, not that I wanted to. Momo continued. Iida on the other hand, insert reason here, I don't know what to write. Great explanation. Now young Midoriya, I need to speak with you in private after class. Drop by the teacher's lounge later. So how's life? Izuku was now sitting in the teacher's lounge with All Might in his skeletal form. All Might poured a cup of tea for both of them. It's alright, I guess. Awkward? Come on, say something. This is getting too awkward. Wonderful weather we're having. Izuku mentally facepalmed. All Might coughed. Let's skip the awkward talk, alright? Izuku sighed in relief. Yes, please. All Might spoke his sentences carefully. About what I said last year, I told you that quirkless people can't become heroes. Izuku winced, that moment had crushed his 14-year-old self. Yeah, you did. Izuku looks at the cup of tea, avoiding All Might's face. The truth hurts, but that's reality, isn't it? All Might looked down. There's something I need to tell you. Was he going to do it? Reveal the secrets of One for All to the boy? He could imagine his reaction. Angry. Furious that his hero, who was also once quirkless like him, crushed his dreams. He could imagine him storming out the room and a string of swear words following him. He's almost too scared to tell him. I know you were quirkless. Wait, what? All Might looked up in shock to see Izuku half smiling. How did he know? Well, it's easy. I decided to look into the fight you mentioned and I couldn't find it. So I dug deeper and found that you were once misdiagnosed as quirkless. That got me curious, so I dug way more deeper and I formed a theory that either it was genetic mutation or someone gave you a quirk. And judging by your looks, I was right. All Might was stunned. If this boy figured it out, who else did? Izuku said, I got it. I may be an insane psychopath with two voices in my head now, but I get it. You were trying to protect me and stuff. I was furious at first. But I understand. All Might sighed in relief. The truth is that after I saw you save that boy, I thought about the possibility of giving you my quirk. One for all. Izuku was surprised. So the quirk he was given could be passed on, huh? But this power can be a huge burden. The people around the world don't just see me as the symbol of peace. They see me as someone who can save them no matter what. I didn't want you to carry the weight I carry. So I tried to find another one here in the USA. Seeing you fight and save the students in USJ, even if your methods are extreme and give the kids injuries, Izuku looked away in embarrassment as I had only a day to plan. And taking that hit for your classmates. It got me thinking again, and Izuku cut him off. Sorry, but I can't take it. All Might was surprised. This kid didn't want a quirk. Izuku waved his hands. Don't get me wrong, I'm really flattered. Extremely. Like a lot. Super flattered and all. And really grateful, but Izuku pauses and frowned. I can't. Saving people with a smile on my face. I want to, but I can't. I'm a killer. I murdered 51 people in a year. All of them were villains, African warlords, drug lords, and cartel leaders that destroy lives. But I'm still a murderer. I'm not meant to be a hero. Heck, I only went here to avoid prison. I don't want to be a hero. All Might understood. Alright, I understand. But the offer still stands. After the conversation, Izuku felt odd. It was a mix of sadness and happiness. He hates feeling stuff like this. Why can't things be simple? If only he could have a drink. Later. Izuku was walking home from school. The government allowed him to keep the apartment once they confiscated every weapon. They also planted a few cameras and placed undercover guards outside. Hello, Midoriya. Walking to the train station, I see. It shall join you. Huh, that's Iida. Izuku wondered why he always held his hands. Hey. Wait up, you two. Uraraka said. They started to chat while walking. Izuku felt something warm in his chest. In his entire life he only had a few people who are his friends. These two quickly became part of the list. He doesn't know why, but he likes them. Maybe going here wasn't a bad idea after all. Suddenly his phone rang. The one with the number only few people knew. He took up the phone and asked, who is this? Izuku. Midoriya. Izuku recognizes the voice. One he had not heard in a while. Satoshi. You son of a bitch. Why the hell are you calling? You never used this number. Satoshi was an old friend. He was 19 years old and was a mentor to Izuku. He helped him with his first assassination job. Satoshi laughed and replied, times change. Look, I need your help. Remember the kid you dropped off at my house? Not cool, dude. I already have a dog. Well, she got in trouble at school. I'm busy now, but I figured you'll have no problem. After all, school just ended, right? He had told Satoshi about his position in UA. He encouraged him to attend since he shared that jail was boring. They first met around a year ago. They were both quirkless and became quick friends. He designed his costume and weapons, taught him skills he can't get from watching videos, taught him references, and provided emotional support when he needed it. Even as a badass, he still has emotional moments. Like the anniversary of his mother's death. They also play a version of tag. They would use one knife and then try to injure the other whenever they meet. The loser will then take the knife and try to injure the winner in order to win. Basically tag with a knife. Flashback. Hey Izuku. Wanna know how to stop a bomb from being activated with just a knife? Izuku got curious. How? Then Satoshi quickly stabbed his hand. He screamed in pain. Your enemy can't press a trigger when his hands are gone. Flashback over. That was their first match. Back to the call. What did she do? Not sure. I'm busy now, so come on James. He heard a kid's voice. Suck it, old man. Izuku pauses. Are you playing laser tag? Satoshi laughed awkwardly. Sorry, gotta go. Who was that? Uraraka asked. Just an old friend. I need to go pick up a kid. Uraraka's eyes sparkled. Oh, I love kids. Can I come? Izuku shrugged. How about you, Ida? Unfortunately, I cannot. My schedule is already full. I shall see you tomorrow. They waved Ida goodbye and boarded the train to a primary school. When they arrived, Izuku told Uraraka to stay outside for a while. As he went inside, he experienced deja vu. He has memories of elementary school. It sucked just like middle school. At least he got a juice box every week. Izuku entered the principal's office. Izuku. He smiled as he heard the little girl's voice. The girl was Eri. She was 6 years old with white skin and a horn on her head. He had rescued her when she was 5. Another flashback. Izuku was walking through the street at night. He had killed his 5th person and earned 150,000. Maybe he should stop by an ice cream shop to spoil himself a bit. Suddenly something ran into his leg. He didn't fall, but his leg was still hurt from the assassination, so it hurt when something hit it. Hey, watch where you're. He was shocked to see a crying young girl in a white dress. Arms covered in bandages. He ignored the pain and bent down. Only he stopped himself from swearing. He helped the girl up. Hey, sorry about that, don't cry please. Crap, what to do with kids when they cry? Candy? No. Hugs. He cradled the girl in his arms and rubbed her back. What had happened to this girl? Where were the parents? He looked and saw blood in the bandages. It made his blood boil. No child should suffer like this. Then he saw him. A man with a bird mask. Sorry about my daughter's kid. We were having an argument. Come on, Eri. Let's go home. He snapped his head up to look at him. So her name's Eri. The man nodded. He whispers to Eri, Eri, I'm going to kill this son of a gun. Close your ears please. Flashback over. He beat the man to near death, but spared him because he had no idea who he was connected to and feared what his followers or superiors could do. He warned him that she was now under his protection, and if he saw so much as a bird mask again, he would make him look like a beef jerky with a nervous system. The bird mask man hastily agreed. After that, he gave the girl money and told her the direction to the nearest police station. But she wanted to stay with him. He tried to take care of her, but he couldn't, so he gave her to Satoshi and visited as much as possible. He had also taught her skills like lockpicking and how to properly throw a punch in case she was in trouble. Hello, Mr. Midoriya. Mr. Satoshi informed me that you'll be attending in his place. Izuku nodded. Yep. What happened? Eri cut in. A boy was being mean. You told me that if someone is mean to me then I have to punch him. The principal cut in outrage. She did more than that. She got on top of the boy and pummeled him. She even posted it on YouTube. Izuku was struggling to contain his laughter. Eri pummeled a boy. He was so proud. You posted it on YouTube? Eri shook her head. No, someone else did. How many hits did you get? Eri looks confused for a second on the video or the boy. The principal looks in disbelief. The girl needs to be punished. The parents of the boy requested that she be suspended, which will happen. Understand? Izuku forced a smile. He wonders if he can kill this guy without anyone noticing. Even if he might be an innocent guy, nobody says things like that to Eri. He'll just have to vandalize his car. As they exit, Izuku turned to Eri and said, that was a good job, Eri. Next time go for the private part, alright? Also tone it down, don't want you to get suspended again. Eri smiles and says okay Izu. Izu was a nickname given to Izuku by Eri. He loved it a lot. Wanna get some ice cream? Yay. God, she's such an angel. Izuku was now at an ice cream shop with Eri and Uraraka. Initially, Eri was shy around Uraraka. But it is slowly warming up to her. Uraraka found her adorable. "So Eri, how's Satoshi doing?" he asked the one-horned angel. "He's doing great. You should come visit. He'll be happy," Eri said. Izuku chuckled. "Yeah, sure. I was gonna stop there anyway." Uraraka piped in. "You never told me who Satoshi. Is he a sort of villain like you too?" Eri said he's a hero. Just like Izuku. Izuku sighed. He had kept telling her that he wasn't a hero, but she never listens. He doesn't deserve to be called one. As they walked to Satoshi's apartment with ice cream in hand, they talked about how Eri's studies were going. She had excelled in maths and science due to Satoshi's tutoring. That guy's smart enough to have 4 PhDs. They opened the door and heard Dogmeat barking. He had named the dog after a dog in an old video game. Dogmeat was a German shepherd and was also trained to bite the balls of his enemies if ordered to. Izuku once saw him bite the balls of a pedophile. He reached down to pat the dog. "Hey Dogmeat. This is my friend Uraraka. Play nice, alright?" The dog barked in affirmation. "Greenie, you're back already?" From the apartment's kitchen came Satoshi. He had grown slightly taller than last time and was wearing his usual jacket. "Satoshi. I beat up a kid at school and Izuku bought me ice cream." She points to Uraraka and he's got a girlfriend now. Izuku and Uraraka spit out the ice cream they were eating and started babbling about how they were just friends and barely knew each other. Satoshi ignored that and said, "So what's the deal? I gather this isn't a social visit." Izuku shook his head and nervously said, "Well, remember the suit you made me? The green one that's resistant to water, electricity and heat and all that. Also bulletproof." Satoshi frowned. "How much damage?" He took out the suit from his backpack and showed it to him. Satoshi's jaw dropped so far that you could stuff a tennis ball into it. "My baby. What were you shot with?" The suit was falling apart in different places and the durability was gone. It was now easy to tear. There were also scorch marks over it and other forms of damage. "I was shot with something equivalent to a rocket launcher." Satoshi inspected the suit. "Well, it's irreparable. The damage is too much. I'll have to make a new one. One that's more armored. Maybe carbon fiber." "So what can I wear?" Satoshi shrugged. "You'll have to wear your PE uniform for a while. I give it 3 days before you can get the suit back." Izuku got excited that fast. Satoshi grinned. "Yep, with the new tech I got I can make it in 3 days. One actually, but I'll need to add some stuff to it. Upgrades. Oh, I have so many ideas. I'll probably make one for your girlfriend if she wants one." "Not his girlfriend." Uraraka points out and, "Yeah, thank you. A new suit would be good." Satoshi clapped his hands together. "Alright, better get to work. See you, Greenie. And bring the girl around sometime." They both left embarrassed. Izuku turned to Uraraka. "Sorry about him. He's a crazy guy. But he means well." "Yeah." They walk in silence for a while. "You know, you never told anyone what your quirk is. Is it something related to combat or analyzing stuff?" Izuku hesitated to answer. Would she react like the people in his childhood did? Avoid him like he has a contagious disease or bully him? No, she isn't that type of person. He could tell her. "The truth is He didn't get to finish because a bullet ripped through his shoulder. Fuck. Izuku threw himself on Uraraka and looked back to identify the assailant. He saw a guy with a gun. Nothing personal, just business. Izuku went to fight back, but suddenly his collar shocked him. It'll activate when it senses you about to attack. Stupid government program. Izuku grabbed Uraraka and made a run for it. Who was that guy? I don't know. Probably a newbie assassin. His methods are too loud and public. Why can't you fight back? Izuku pointed to his collar. This stupid shit. I got an idea. See that garbage dumpster? He points to one a few feet away. I hid a stash of weapons around Japan. This one contains a M1911 and a Bowie knife. Also a first aid kit. It's underneath it. Uraraka made the dumpster float and took the items. Now what? Izuku looks back to see the assassin almost at them. Ever shot a gun before? Uraraka looks shocked that I can't kill him. Then you better aim well. Turn off the safety and cock it. Then hold your breath and release when you pull the trigger. Uraraka looked confused. Izuku shouted the instructions again. Off, slide, hold breath, release, shoot. Uraraka fumbled with the gun and nearly shot her foot off. Izuku fassip him. The assassin grins and points the gun. Only for the M1911 to be thrown at high speed at his face, knocking him out. Izuku looks impressed. Or just do that. Uraraka carries the first aid kit to Izuku. What do I do? It was Izuku's turn to look confused. Don't you learn first aid in the hero course? We would if the League didn't attack us on the day we were supposed to. Izuku put his hand out and handed me the Pleiades and the cauterizer. The pliers, and what? The long rod with a red handle. Izuku pulled out the bullet with the pliers and, to Uraraka's shock, stabbed the cauterizer in the wound. He screamed in pain as it heats up and cauterizes the wound. Uraraka was startled by the scream and screamed too. It's done. Uraraka looked concerned. Do you do that every time? Izuku waved it off. Of course not. Sometimes I have to patch it up with bandages and stuff. Then Izuku picked the assassin by the collar and yelled, Who do you work for? The assassin didn't answer. Oh crap, wait, he's unconscious. They later dialed the police and took the man into custody. After that they were questioned and they had to check if Izuku had tried to escape and he had to give up all the location of his stashes. Ops 1. Izuku 0. Izuku was sitting on his desk. Everyone in class was chattering among himself while he was still thinking about the assassin. The assassin came after him because there was an open bounty. Meaning anyone can participate. That was troubling. What's more is that the price on his head was 10,000 yen. What the hell, if you want to kill me, at least put a high bounty on me. It'll be embarrassing if I get killed for 10,000 yen. Suddenly Iida ran in waving his arms. Everyone, morning homeroom is about to begin. Get into your seats. The tape guy said all of us are in their seats. It's just you. Iida quickly sat on his chair and grumbled, shoot. Izawa then walked in. He still has his left arm in a cast as it was still injured from the Nomu attack. Would have been worse if Izuku didn't stop them. Mr. Izawa. You really need to relax a bit. Your arm is still damaged. Kirishima said. My well-being isn't important. Because your fight's far from over. Luneta looks panicked. More villains. Everyone looked at Izuku. He raised his hands. Don't look at me. I've been cut off from the dark web ever since I came here. Part of the agreement. So if villains attack, that's not on me. The annual UA Sports Festival is approaching fast. That's so ordinary. Come on, we've been attacked by this guy's friends a few days ago. Is this really the time for that? Kaminari asked, pointing a finger at Izuku, still bitter from the whole incident. Izuku turned around and held his crayon out. It was a safety precaution in case he attacked the students with a pencil. There are numerous ways I can kill you without the caller realizing. Don't push it, Drooly. Everyone chuckled at Kaminari's fear. But yeah, he sorta does have a point. It's necessary to demonstrate that the UA's crisis management protocols are sound. That's the thinking apparently. Compared to past years, there'll be 5 times the police presence. Anyhow, the sports festival, it's the greatest opportunity you'll ever get. It's not an event that can be cancelled by a few villains. Luneta muttered, just a stupid sports festival. Izuku again turned back. Are you freaking serious? Have you ever watched one before? Of course I did. But we might die. Izuku shrugged. If you die, it'll be no great loss. The nation's best are also going to it to scout out possible sidekicks as well, right? Momo asked. Great, just what he needs. Him in a stadium with every hero he ever beat will be there. It'll be awkward as hell. They'll be looking to hire us as sidekicks after we graduate. That's how it's done. Kaminari told Jiru. But some never go pro and stay as sidekicks forever. You'll be one of them. Jiru said. Kaminari started crying exaggeratedly. Why is everyone picking on me today? But your time is limited. Show the pros what you're made of here and you'll make a future for yourself. This happens once a year, so if you're planning to be a hero, you cannot miss this opportunity. The 4 periods passed quickly and soon it was lunchtime. Izuku was currently thinking back on stuff. Back in the good old days, he and Kakin would fantasize on what they'll do in the sports festival. When the time comes, we're gonna fight each other in the final rounds and there'll be a massive intense fight. And then after that I'll win, just like in every other activity in the festival. Geez Kakin, what if you don't win? Kakin grinned. I won't not win. That was the last conversation they had as friends. He can't help but miss those times. At least Kakin wasn't an evil douche back then. He looked around to see his classmates getting pumped up. Ekuiida at the sports festival, let's do our best. Izuku turned to see Uraraka making an intense face. Whoa there, what happened to the bright and happy Uraraka? She ignored him and pumped her fist in the air. Everyone. I'm gonna crush this. Now that he thinks about it, he doesn't know why Uraraka wants to become a hero. Later during lunch, he asked her and was surprised at her answer. You want to do this for money? He and Iida asked, shocked that someone like Uraraka wanted to be a hero to earn money. She looks embarrassed. Sorry, I know it sounds really selfish compared to Iida's, but yeah, I want to be a hero for money. Iida waved his hands. But why? There's nothing wrong with seeking a more comfortable lifestyle. Yeah, what he said. I mean, I use some of the money I got from hits to occasionally spoil myself. And let me tell you, spending money for selfish reasons feels great. Uraraka shook her head. My family owns a construction company. Business isn't doing so good, don't tell anyone. Iida looks confused, but with your quirk, you could cut down the cost of employing heavy machinery. Uraraka nodded. That's what I told my dad, but… Flashback. You want to work for the family? The young has asked to help her parents with construction in the future with her quirk. Yeah. When I grow up I want to help mommy and daddy. Her father sighed and patted her head. That's real sweet, Achako. But what'd be even sweeter is my baby girl making her own dreams come true. When that day comes you can take us on a vacation to Hawaii. Flashback over. So I'm gonna be a hero to make that money. So my mom and dad can have easier lives. Iida and Izuku stood in awe. Then Iida started clapping. Uraraka. Bravo. Wanting to support your family, huh? She's more like me than I thought. Back in his younger days he would ask his mom for permission to help her with work. She had to work for long hours to support them, and the money they got from his dad wasn't enough. Young Midoriya is here. They turned to see All Might had appeared from a corner. Wanna have lunch? Uraraka snickered just like a schoolgirl. Teacher's lounge. I wanted to ask about what you think of the upcoming sports festival. Izuku drank his tea. To be honest, I'm not really sure about it. The fight match sounds fun, so maybe I'll attend that. All Might chuckle. There are kids that will kill to attend the sports festival, and you think it's interesting? You prince of nonsense. I don't really want to be a hero, remember? This is just temporary. All Might smiles and get you thrown yourself in front of young Bakugo's blast to protect your teammates. And prevented the assassin from killing young Uraraka. Izuku rolled his eyes. I'm a trouble magnet. Things like this happen. Fine. But think about this. If you join the sports festival and win, it'll inspire the quirkless people. The people like you who spend lots of time being mocked for their uselessness, and you'll be able to prove the prejudiced people wrong. You might stop the bullying of quirkless people around Japan. Izuku shrugged. Not interested in those. All I do is all for myself. He looks up. Why are you trying to get me to attend the sports festival? Because you have potential to be a hero. You are correct that the world has enough heroes. Maybe it could use someone from the other side. Izuku stood up. That was a nice talk, but I have to go now. I'll attend the festival for myself, no one else. Got that? All Might nodded. Very well. Do your best, young Midoriya. Later. What the heck? Uraraka was about to exit class after school ended, but found a cluster of students in front of them. What are they here for? Mineta asked. Haken scowled at our competition. We're the class that survived Deku's friend's attack. It makes sense that they want to look before the competition. Izuku raised his hand. Again, they weren't my friends. And you're welcome. I saved half of your asses. Out of the way, cannon fodder. Can we please not resort to calling those we don't even know cannon fodder? It's true we can't go get a look, but you sure are modest. Are all kids in the hero course like this one? A purple-haired kid came out from the crowd. Izuku tense. This kid is Hitachi Shinso. He had analyzed every potential threat from UA a few months ago, in case he had to fight them. This guy was in general studies, but he is dangerous. Izuku cut in and pushed Kaken back. No, some of us are better. And by us I mean me. You're Hitachi Shinso, right? Guy with the mind control quirk. He looked surprised. Do you know me? Izuku started at him. I know every person who is strong in the school. You're one of them. He snorted. I'm flattered. Did you know that they can transfer us to the hero course depending on our results? The reverse goes to you. Some of his class shuddered, but Izuku just smirked. Not much of a challenge then. Just need to be better than that guy. He points at Mineta. This is a perfect chance to knock arrogant people like you out of their pedestals. I came here as a declaration of war. Izuku grinned. He likes this guy. 24 people declared war on me last year. You can find their remains in the graveyard. He heard another person say, hey. I'm from class 1B next door. I came to see how tough you guys are, but all I see are these two arrogant bastards. Izuku remembered skimming through this guy's file. Wasn't really a threat to him. There's a difference between being arrogant and telling the truth. You can all gang up on me and I'll still win. Good luck at the sports festival. Break a leg. He walked through them and heard the students yelling at how rude and cocky he is. Then he hears someone say, I heard he's quirkless. Cocky bastard should be easy to take during the festival. He's going to beat that guy's ass when he sees him in the festival. As they walked to the station, Iida was scolding him about being rude to their fellow schoolmates. So you know every strong person in the school, huh? Izuku nodded. I hacked into the student files and all to see if anyone's a threat to me. I could only find like 30. Then he frowned. But that guy, Hitachi Shinso. He ranks top 10 on my list. You should be careful around him. Izuku spent the last few days training. By training he means watching a bunch of YouTube videos and movies. Here he watched a couple movies like Ip Man, Mortal Kombat, etc. Now it was time for the sports festival. Izuku rubbed his hands together in excitement. Maybe he can beat Kaken up live on television. They all line up and President Mick introduces them. He looked around at the competition. He can take them. Quiet everyone. It's time for the players' pledge. Representing the first years will be Katsuki Bakugo from Class 1A. Katsuki walks up to the stage, as Izuku whispers to Shiro, bet you 50 yen, he'll say something about being number 1. I pledge I'll be number 1. The crowd exploded with insults, and such with Class 1A thinking I knew he should say something like that. Meanwhile Izuku was thinking how he never been in a crowd this angry since he painted a picture of a guy kissing a guy on the wall of an anti-gay party that wanted to outlaw gay marriages. He hates guys like that. Izuku Midoriya, part-time assassin, part-time equal rights activist. You got this the wrong idea. This isn't a pledge, it's a declaration of war. I'm not losing to any of you, hero course or not. He then rubbed us China, you might make fine stepping stones though. Overconfident bastard. No, he's worried. If he was, he would be smiling. No, he's telling himself that he can't lose. And a worried Kaken is a dangerous one. Wow. You can feel the tension after that. That was bold. Let's get things started already. I want to see a bloodbath. President Mick exclaimed. Midnight grinned seductively with pleasure. Let's get things started right away. The first game is what you'd call a qualifier for the later rounds. Many drink their tears here. And the first game is she points to a large holographic screen which rolled like a slot machine and it stopped at obstacle race. All 11 classes will participate in it. The course is on the circumference of the stadium which is about 4 kilometers. Obstacle race huh? Shouldn't be too hard. He recently watched a couple of videos of Parker. He could also run 6 kilometers without running out of breath. Midnight smile turned sadistic. Our school's selling point is freedom, so you can do anything as long as you stay the course. Now everyone. Take your places. They all line up at the starting line. He had chosen a place in the middle instead of the front. He'll let those in front trigger the obstacles first, then he won't be surprised. Ding. He looks around to see if he can take advantage of anyone's quirk. Ding. He saw Kaken in the front and wondered if he could win. What if those in the general studies have speed quirks but are terrible at combat? Ding. No point doubting myself, just gotta wing it. Start. Izuku ran in and he suddenly realized that the entrance acted as a choke point. Now he and the rest are crushed together as they attempt to squeeze through. Second thought, I should have been in the front. He finally made it through to see a bunch of robots throwing students around. He ducked and weaved from robots and through students. He also stepped on the face of the one who thought he'll be easy to take out. The one in the previous chapter. Then he saw humongous robots in front of them. Holy shit. He saw the Prince Ukoya, he's calling Shoto that in front of him, freezing them all and causing them to collapse. Geez, that's cold. After a few more kilometers they made it to the second obstacle. A giant endless pit with platforms. He grinned, luckily he had watched those Parker videos. He shoved the students aside and jumped on the ropes connecting the platforms, then he kept running and jumping, not bothering to look. Instead, he let his instincts take the wheel. He looks back to see the rest of the students catching up, he has to hurry. He saw Kaken and Shoto in first and second place. The third obstacle was a minefield. They were fighting each other as they ran. Gotta find a way to cross this quickly. He looks at the mine in front of him. This is gonna suck. He calculated the trajectory in his head and ran towards it. He steps on it. Let this work. The mine propelled him a few feet in front. He landed on another one and another until he made it to first place. Midoriya takes first place. It looks like the Todoroki and Bakugo are calling a ceasefire. Izuku turned to find what President Mick said was true. Those two were catching up quickly and ignoring each other. Deku? Get back here, you fucking shitrag. Izuku flipped the bird at them and continued jumping on mines. He's out. He made it near the finish line but ran out of mines. He continued to run and run, still flipping the bird at Kaken. And he's done it. Izuku Midoriya takes first place. Izuku started panting. His legs burned, jumping on the mines was a bad idea. Crap, why didn't he grab that piece of metal? He could have made a pile of mines and jumped on them with it. You failed my brain. Actually it was your fault. You got overconfident. He's a right dickhead. Don't blame us, motherfucker. Shut up. His stomach started churning. And he vomited on the stadium grass. They'll replace it. Are you sure this is a good idea, sir? All Might asked Nedzu. I don't suppose why not. Izuku Midoriya has been studying here for a month now. We need to see what his fellow classmates think of him. All Might shrugged. Why? Because this is a filler, just go with it. All Might looks confused. What now? Alright, first one will be Kyokajiru. Kyokajiru? Well, I don't have any problems with him. He's annoying, but not in a bad way, like funny annoying. Plus he has a great taste in music, listens to the classical genre. I don't think he's really a bad guy, maybe a bit evil now and then, but he's more anti-hero than villain. Also a great tactician, even though he's quirkless he beat most of the strongest in our class in an instant. Overall I think he's a nice person, just misunderstood. Then Iida. Izuku Midoriya has been a great friend, he is a brilliant person, and he finishes his schoolwork on time. Although he is a former villain, I believe he became one because he had no other choice, and should not be judged so quickly because of his past actions. I do think he needs to be more serious, as he constantly makes references to old films and jokes in the middle of battles. Enki Kaminari. He's a cool guy, knows a lot of classic movies like Predator and Jaws. He's also pretty fun to talk to, helps me a lot with my homework, but he charges 10 yen per question. Well, he was a mercenary, so I should have seen that coming. He's cool overall, but he should tone down the sarcasm, plus he can be mean at times. Ichako Uraraka. Eku's a sweet person. He helped me with my studies and taught me some combat skills after the sports festival, and he supported me when I decided to go to Gunhead's agency to improve my combat skills. He can be occasionally rude to people, but he's been through a lot, so that's understandable. He's also pretty funny, makes a lot of jokes, and I admire his confidence when he fights. Also he is terrible at tying ties. Minoru Mineta. He's a villain, and he should be rotting in a jail cell forever. Itsuki Bakugu. Fucking shit-faced nerd motherfucker shouldn't be in this school. Bastard deserves to be in jail. Shoto Todoroki. The greatest person in the world who I would follow into the gates of hell if needed. Hiroshima and I. The most manly man I ever met. Pantasiro. I'm not sure, I don't talk with him a lot. Momoyoi Rozu. I think he is a great leader. He has shown it during our first combat exercise with him. He's a quick thinker and could use his surroundings for maximum efficiency to defeat his opponents. Masahiro Jiro. I don't have any problems with him. Fumikage Tokoyami. The craziest person I ever met in my entire life. Dark Shadow. He's a cool dude. Rest of the class. Great guy, annoying. A terrible swimmer, etc. Alright Midoriya, so which one did you think was the most accurate? Izuku thought for a while before saying they're wrong. All of them. Except for Uraraka, I can't tie my tie for shit. Izuku waited as the rest of the students crossed the finish line. He saw Kaken and Shoto glared at him. He casually responds with both middle fingers. Eku? You won first place. Izuku ceased flipping them off and smiled at Uraraka. Yeah, I did. My feet hurt though, and I just vomited on the stadium grass. Iida looks annoyed at himself. Even with my quirk I lost, I must work harder. Midnight, crack her whip if you didn't make it, don't worry about it. There'll be other chances for you to shine. The real competition begins now. The press will be all over it. The slot machine started spinning and everyone was waiting in anticipation. Now for the next game. I already know what it is, but what could it be? Here it is. The slot stopped at the cavalry battle. As Midnight explained the rules, Izuku's mind was already working on a strategy. He looks around for possible teammates. Izuku snapped back to attention when Midnight mentioned the points. But the exception of first place, whose value is 10 million. I'm sorry, what? Midnight grinned sadistically, that's right mister. First place. Izuku looks nervous as everyone in the stadium looks at him with hunger in their eyes. So this is how John Wick felt. Now they had 15 minutes to pick their teammates, he went to his first choice. Hey Iida. Buddy, old pal, friend of mine. Wanna join my team? I got a plan, but I apologized to Midoriya. But it's just like you said, in the sports festival, it's every man for themselves. He said, as he walked to Todoroki's group. But I never said that. Izuku said, trying to get Iida to change his mind. Flashback. One thing I like about the festival is that it's every man for themselves. Flashback over. Oh, right he did. Oh well, I gotta find someone else. But everyone he met rejected his offer. He started to panic, how did John Wick go through this? Eku? Let's team up. Izuku turned to face Uraraka with tears in his eyes. Yes. Thank you. Everyone is after my 10 million, but I knew I could count on you. You didn't actually think that? She doesn't know. Suddenly a pink-haired girl with goggles approaches them. Mr. First Place. I propose an alliance. Ichako looks surprised. You're that girl that flew through the pit with those gadgets. That's right. I'm Mei Hatsum from the support course. I have no idea who you are, but I want to use your position as the first place to promote my super cute babies. I'm aiming to catch the attention of some big companies, and to do that I need people to pay attention. All eyes are going to be on you, and I'll receive maximum attention. Or rather my babies will. Uraraka looks even more confused. Hold on babies. What are you talking about? Hatsune didn't lose her pace. The support course develops support items for heroes to enhance their quirks. I got tons of babies, so I'm sure there's one that suits you. Izuku was almost overwhelmed by how blunt the girl is. Izuku pushes her away as they get closer. Yeah, I appreciate the enthusiasm, but what stuff do you have? She shows him all the gadgets she has. Izuku looks through them. This girl is probably more of a tech geek than Satoshi. And that's saying a lot. His eyes froze on a device. Is that a jetpack? Yes it is. Izuku claps his hands on her shoulder. Welcome to the team. You only want the jetpack, don't you? Shut up. By the way, the bad sides have been quiet lately. What happened to him? Not sure. I'll keep an eye on him. Alright, I gotta get back on track. Now we need one more team member. I got just the person. He walks up to the person in question. Cavalry battle. Alright people. Shout those war cries and fire the signal. The bloodbath of the obstacle race was just the beginning. It's time for things to get crazier. Are you ready? Izuku was sitting on top of the horse and scanning his opponents. Analyzing who will be the first of the many to fall. Alright, as soon as the games begin most of them will head to us. Uraraka, get ready to lighten the load. Tokoyami, you know what to do. Hatsune, you just do what you can. Alright. You got it, Uraraka said. Understood. Fumikage answered. Hatsune was just giggling. Ready? Set. Go. Just as he thought, everyone started going after him. Let's move guys. Thanks to the support gear and Uraraka's quirk, they were able to swiftly maneuver around and avoid opposing teams. One got too close and tried to reach for his band. Coincidentally, it was the same guy he stepped in and called him an easy target. Let's call him Steve since we don't know his name. This is for stepping on my face, he said as he reached for the headband. Izuku grabbed the arm and broke it. Steve screamed in pain. Don't be such a pussy, Steve. I only broke your arm in 3 different places. He pushes him off the horse, which eliminates his team. My name's Haruto, you mother. Izuku's team was already moving away and he was flipping Steve off. Don't care. Uraraka looks at him. Isn't that a bit too harsh? Define harsh. Hatsune pointed to something. Hey, look at that. Izuku saw Mizo heading their way. He was alone, or so they thought. Looks like Grapehead teamed up with Otto. Hey look, Asui's in too. The tongue reached out and tried to snatch the headband. Call me Tsai. A bunch of purple balls were thrown at them. Fall back guys. They tried to fly away again, but one of Hatsune's babies, the boot one, was stuck to a purple ball. So they had to break it, much to Hatsune's regret. My baby. Izuku turned and saw the guy he was hoping to avoid. Ah crap, it's Prince Zuko. In front of them was Shoto's team, all equipped with roller skates to maximize the use of Iida's speed. Hey Zuko, look behind you. It's your honor. Unfortunately that did not work. Todoroki, get ready. Iida warned. Get ready. What's gonna happen? Izuku braced for Iida to try to snatch it. What happened next surprised all of them. Recipro burst. Iida ran at unbelievable speed, which caught Izuku off guard, allowing the headband to be taken. What the shit? Iida. You've been holding out on us. I thought we were friends, man. Iida looks back at Izuku. Every man for themselves, remember? Izuku shook his fist at him. Don't listen to me. Why would you listen to me? He glared at him. Guys, we're getting that back. All hands on deck. Shiver me timbers and prepare to board. Why are you talking in a pirate voice? I thought it was suitable, but now it sounded stupid. Ignore me, just get the headband back. He covered them up and moved them. I think it's the last one. Move people. Momo tried to whack Izuku with a staff she made, but he grabbed it. Thanks a lot, Ponytail. He tore it from her grips and tried to hit Shoto with it. The attack was blocked, but it distracted him long enough for Izuku to reach for the headband. He grabbed them just in time because Shoto reacted and lit himself on fire. You need to chill down, hot stuff, he said as he shook his arm trying to fill the pain of the burns. Shoto looked at his left hand in disgust and Izuku noticed. Don't like using your fire, huh? Your loss. It seems pretty cool. They started to retreat and Shoto's team tried to follow, but suddenly Izuku heard the voice of the number 1 thing on his hate list. Deku? Give that now, you fucking bastard. Izuku flipped him off. How about no? And a side of go fuck yourself. But before either Shoot or Bakugo could get their hands on Izuku, the bell rang. Time's up people. That was one heck of a cavalry bait. In first place we have Izuku Midoriya, who somehow managed to keep his 10 million points. Second place we have Katsuki Bakugo. Third is Shoto Todoroki. He may have lost the 10 million, but his base points are enough to get him to the final round. Fourth we have Team Tatsuya. Wait a minute, third place goes to Team Hitachi. Where they come from? Anyway, we have an hour break. Everyone kick back and relax. Eraser, let's grab some lunch. I'm gonna take a nap. They stared at each other, one serious, the other thinking about something else. Did I leave the stove on back home? Izuku snaps back to reality once Todoroki coughs to catch his attention. Izuku saw that he was giving him a glare. What did he do? Almost, as he read his mind, he responded, "You overwhelmed me. So much so that I broke my own pledge." Izuku scratches the back of his head. Sorry, I guess. Can I go now? The cafeteria is gonna be full soon. Todoroki ignored him and continued, "You know my father is Endeavor, right? The second greatest hero of all time. And who now? Come on, don't you remember? You broke his hero agency building's window last summer." I remember. We also posted a couple insulting memes on him, right? You called him Endeavor. Oh yeah. I remember. One of my best puns. Todoroki didn't notice his inner conversation. If he did, he ignored it. Sure, he made a name as a hero himself, but he always saw All Might as an eyesore and roadblock. My father couldn't beat All Might, so he came with another plan. Alright, why are you telling me this? Todoroki's already serious glare somehow turned more serious. Ever heard of quirk marriages? Izuku suddenly realized what was going on. Wait a minute. Todoroki waited for his reaction. Izuku suddenly looks panicked. I totally left the stove on back home. This made Todoroki even more angry. How much of a moron can this guy be? Strong individuals would choose a partner and force them into. Yeah, I know. I get the drill. You were born in a quirk marriage, big deal. What's the big problem anyway? He raised me as a tool to fulfill his own ambition. I hated being a tool for that human garbage. As I remember it, my mom was always crying. He puts a hand on his scar. I can't stand to see the horrible left side of yours, she said before pouring scalding water in my face. This time Izuku was serious. So your dad was an asshole and your mom was one too? He glared at him again. My mother did that because of my father. Before, she was a kind woman, but that bastard put her into that state that caused this. Izuku raised his hand for a high five. Cool, mine's the same. Asshole dads and cool mums were like similar backstory pals or something. Are you never serious? He said, sounding really annoyed and angry. Izuku shrugged most of the time. Anyways, gotta go. Cafeteria's nearly full. He quickly excuses himself. No one saw the sympathy he had on his face. He knew what Todoroki'd been through. He was in the same position a year ago. Poor guy. So he doesn't use his fire to piss his old man off, huh? I know what you're thinking. Don't. It's none of our business. He's got daddy issues, so let himself deal with those himself. But you're a hero now. You need to help people, even if it's with daddy issues. That's your job now. We only joined because we wanted to avoid jail, remember? Or is it because you haven't given up on that dream like you thought you did? You're crossing the line. I gave up on that. Then why did you give most of your money to charity, huh? Shut up, you both know why. Now shut it before I bash my head on that wall. He stops and facepalms in frustration. He knows what he has to do. Being a good guy sucks. Later. What the foo? In the stadium, the boys of Class 1 saw their female classmates in cheerleading outfits. Izuku did a spit take with his coffee and started blushing. Wasn't a pervert, but he has to admit, the girls look hot. Mineta. Kaminari. You tricked us. Yaoi Rozu yelled at the two boys who were giving each other thumbs up. Izuku looked away from the girls and covered his face. He was still shy around the opposite gender even as a hardened mercenary. He saw Hagakure waving the pom-poms around. Still time before the main event, can't just stand around. Let's just go with it, it should be fun. They turned their heads to the speakers as they heard President Mick make an announcement. Alright. Hope everyone enjoys this recreational competition. Once that's over, we'll move on to the final event. Between the 16 members of the winning team, we'll have a formal competition. A series of one-on-one battles. He muted out Midnight explaining the rules. This was where Izuku would excel in. He has been studying with his class for a week and has gotten a full view of them using their abilities and skills. His photographic reflexes recorded them and stored them into his memories. That, and he watched Lethal Weapon and the first season of Daredevil yesterday. If you don't know what those are, what is wrong with you? Stop reading and watch those now. Not necessary for fic, but both have awesome fight scenes. Not sponsored. He's ready to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and he's all out of bubblegum. Excuse me, I would like to withdraw. All eyes turned to Ejiro. Izuku did another spit take with the coffee he was drinking, hitting Iida. Midoriya. Izuku ignored him. Dude, what the heck? This is your chance to be noticed by pros. It's a once wait no. Thrice in a lifetime opportunity. During the cavalry battle, I couldn't remember anything up until the end of it. It's probably his quirk that did it," he said, indicating his purple-haired teammate, Hitachi Shinso. Izuku grimaces, even though he read his file, he doesn't know the full extent of the brainwashing quirk. "I know this is a great opportunity, and it's stupid to throw it away." He started only for Izuku to interrupt him, you think? He continues, "But everyone made it with their own strength. Yet I'm standing here, and I don't know how or why. I just can't take it." Agakure tried to convince him otherwise. "You're thinking about it too hard, just show what you're made of in the tournament." He covers his face. "No, I'm talking about my pride. It doesn't feel right. And why the heck are the girls dressed like that?" Another person also withdrew, some dude from class 1B. He had the same reason. Izuku looks more worried. How powerful is Shinso's brainwashing? Midnight leers at them. How naive, and Green then smiles and cracks her whip. "I love it." Ejiro and Shoto have officially withdrawn. After they decided who would replace them, Team Tetsu, they put up the matchups. Izuku looked and saw that his first match was with Shinso. Izuku has fought those with mind control quirks before and won, but they worry him the most. He knew that the brainwashing from Shinso will only work if he responds, so he has to keep quiet. Which was going to be hard since he loves talking and making jokes. Izuku Midoriya, that's you right. He turned to see his opponent behind him and was about to respond when a fluffy tail covered his mouth. "Midoriya, don't answer him." Ejiro pulled him away from Shinso, tail still covering his mouth. "There's something you need to know about that guy's quirk, he." Izuku shrugged his tail off and replied, "Needs the person to respond in order for it to work, I know." Ejiro looked surprised at how fast Izuku figures it out and was about to question how he knew. "Dude, I've been doing this type of work before you were even a yellow belt. You can say I'm a pro at this," he announces proudly. Only to then spill the packet of Skittles and M&Ms he was holding. "Oh man, I dropped my candy." Izuku stood in the corridor and was feeling excited. Even with his disinterest in the sports festival, he was getting hyped for the fights. But he was also nervous. He hates getting mind controlled, it's annoying and gives him one hell of a migraine. First match. He looks plain and uninteresting, but he got first place for all the events. It's Izuku Midoriya from the hero course. Izuku cracks his knuckles and looks at Hitachi. He looks tired and almost bored. Confident guy, but that works for him. Sorry, but he hasn't done anything to stand out so far. It's Hitachi Shinso from the general studies. Hitachi just looks tired and scratches the back of his head. Here's the rules. You defeat your opponent when you get him out the ring, immobilizing them or make them say uncle. Fight dirty if you must, we got good old recovery girl on duty. No going for the kill obviously. A hero only fights when in pursuit of villains. I give up. Huh. Get it, Izuku Midoriya? This will be a test of your strength of will. If you have any vision of the future, no sense in worrying about how you got here. Is he trying to bait me or something? He is, his quirk needs me to respond. Don't respond, don't respond, don't respond. Ready? But Hitachi had more to say, like that monkey babbling about his pride. Don't say anything, don't say anything, don't say get a tissue, you got bullshit on your lips. God damn it. Start. As soon as Mick said start, Izuku felt something grasp over his mind. It was the familiar feel of mind control. Damn his mouth, he couldn't help it. Hitachi smiles, it's my win. Out in the seats, Ejiro was angry. Damn it, I thought you knew. What's this? Izuku Midoriya isn't moving an inch. He's not even twitching. Could this be Shinso Hitachi quirk? Izawa put in his comment, like I said, the exam was completely irrational. Shinso failed the physical portion of the exam, but passed the written part. He got into general studies though, and that's all he could hope for. His quirk is powerful, but given the format of the exam, it doesn't help. Hitachi looks at Izuku. Must be nice to be handed everything handed to you, doesn't it, Midoriya? Now turn around and walk out the ring. Izuku complies and starts to walk, but a few steps later he stops. Hitachi looks confused, and even more so when Izuku grunts in pain. Then surprises him when he turns and glares at him. Fuck, that hurts. Punch him in the nuts for that. Beat the shit out of him. I'm down, it hurts me too, but we can't seriously injure him for that. Hard to control a guy with a damaged brain, is it? He said gloatingly. I jumped off a building a year ago and went sorta insane. Guess your quirk doesn't do well against crazy people, eh? He walks to Hitachi, the table's now turned. If you got any tricks up your sleeves, this is the time to pull them. Hitachi growls and yells how you're not supposed to be in control. Izuku slams into him and starts pushing with ease. Like I said, I messed up in the head. You're not the first to try and mind control me, all those who tried failed, but I gotta say, I expected more. Hitachi tried using his quirk again, but when that failed he started punching him. Damn you. Already buddy. He shrugs off the punches and continues pushing. Trying to push me out? I'll give you that honor instead. He surprises him when he uses his momentum against him and nearly pushes him out. Clever guy. But it wasn't enough, tricks like those were all it took to beat him. He would be dead a long time ago. No thanks. I'll give it to you instead. He grabbed Hitoshi's arm and performed a judo throw on him, pushing him out of the arena. Shinso is out of the ring. Midnight announced, and the crowds began cheering and clapping. Izuku Midoriya makes it to the second round. Izuku was about to return to the prep room, but stopped and asked Shinso. Why do you want to be a hero? Shinso didn't look at him as he replied. You don't get to choose the things you admire. He started walking away and was surprised to hear that people were shouting encouragement to him. You did great, Shinso. You're the shining star of general studies. Man, he has a great quirk. That's pretty useful, don't you think? Izuku decides to put in some encouragement too. Hey, if you really want to be a hero, just try harder. Go to the gym sometime, take a few lessons on fighting or something. Shinso looks back in mild surprise. If a fucked up like me can make it, so can you. Don't give up, you hear? Shinso nodded. Wasn't going to. I'm going to keep trying, and I'll become a greater hero than all of you in the hero course. He stares at Izuku. Don't lose in a sorry way out there, alright? Inside a bar, somewhere in Kamino Ward, a group of men were discussing a bounty on a certain someone. You know, the kid with 10,000 on his head. It got upgraded to 1 million yen. One of them said to his friends. The other snorted. Whoever put the bounty either hates the kid a lot or is stupid. It's just a kid, no need to spend millions on killing him. The third asked what if he has a strong quirk. The first sneered and downed a drink. No, get this. He's quirkless. They all started a discussion on how it'll be easy money, but then they heard the sound of a beer mug slamming on a table at the sinister dark corner. The light bulb was broken. The owner of the mug laughed at the trio. They got pissed and stood up. You got something to say, old man? The man leaned forward to reveal his face. It shocked the trio. It was the deadliest man in the world, Death Hand. His quirk is death. It's a simple quirk. It causes any organ in the body to fail. He is infamous for causing numerous deaths of high-value targets. Rumors were that he killed 50,000 people in 3 years. Why yes, I have a lot to say. He chugs down his drink. Come, huddle in, and Death Arm will tell you a tale. A tale of why going after that child is the dumbest fucking idea a man can think of. The trio look at each other in doubt, but listen intently. They don't want to feel the wrath of Death Hand. The old man poured himself another drink. In a world full of monsters and gods, he's only mortal. But this boy, he pauses, as if he wasn't sure it was the correct word. He's a devil dressed as man, taking joy in the chaos he causes. Flash. Izuku stood in front of a large building in his suit. He pulls the hood over his head and hefts a M249. He grins under his mask. Flash. I've seen him clear a building of heavily armed and powerful mercenaries in less time than it takes to cook instant noodles. He looks slightly worried now. Flags. The man who lives at the top floor of the building began cooking instant noodles. He heard a commotion downstairs, but rounded it up to it being the bored grunts again. But, as the noise got louder, he started getting a bit nervous. He looks at the door, and suddenly, just as the noise stops, the man relaxed, but went to check the peephole just in case. He brought the noodles that had just finished being cooked with him because why not? Suddenly the door burst open, and a hole appeared on his forehead. As he collapsed, the assassin grabbed a bowl of noodles and started eating it. Flash. And he's a clever one, that guy. Knows everything you're about to do before you even do it. If you don't kill him immediate, he'll memorize your fighting style and kill you with it. He said, putting a finger on his throat to emphasize his point. Flash. An extremely skilled fighter was beating the crap out of Izuku, toying with him. As he prepared to deal the final blow, it was blocked perfectly. He saw Izuku grin sadistically before unleashing a barrage of moves that put the fighter in extreme agony for the next 3 minutes before snapping his neck. Flash. So if it's death and misfortune you want, then the Green Hood's your man. Only don't meddle with his private affairs. He gave a look of genuine fear because there's more secrets in that man that even I dare ask. Flash. The assassin waits outside the primary school. His target was extremely skilled, so he needs an advantage. He knows the target has a girl in his care. If he could get her, then. The next thing he felt was a graze of a knife. He heard a cold whisper that said, "You shouldn't have done that." The assassin immediately fell back in the chair he was sitting on and stayed unmoving. To the outside work, he was someone waiting there, but on the inside, the knife was poisoned, so when it grazed him it got inside. He was now feeling a burning pain in his veins, and after 5 minutes of agony, his heart gave out. The end. Thanks for watching my video, and make sure to check out the author of this fanfic. Link is in the description. See you next time. Till then, sayonara.